All right, Paul. Thank you for your time. We're out here passing the storm, so we figure might as well get a quality guest. I was telling Coach Gasson when we talk about the boys about using basketball as a tool to move forward your academic career. Your name comes up a lot. So everybody in Virginia League right now has heard your name. And so we wanted to bring you on, talk about your journey and all that good stuff. Coach Gasson and I will have some questions for you. But so to start off, I've never met a good referee, right? And I've lost all my cases against them. How much referees and you losing your cases against them influence your decision starting law?
Oh, I wish that was part of it. I wish that's why I went down this professional path, was just to argue with referees better. I think I like to think, and maybe some game film might suggest otherwise. I tried to be pretty easy with the referees. It's like the weather. You can't control it. You can't predict it. Maybe I'd ask some questions. I don't know. Maybe I got teed up now and then. Maybe I'm remembering things a little differently than it happened. Um, but no. So I guess my path to law school and being a lawyer had I had no good reasons. My reasons were I had eligibility left over. So I graduated in 3 years. I took a redshirt year. I had an extra year of scholarship left. So I got through 2 years of law school on athletic scholarship. And my other reason was I was dating a girl and she wanted to go to law school. And I was like, that's great. We'll go together. That's such a good
Man,
idea.
I'm
So
not even
those
surprised,
are
man.
terrible reasons to go to law school, but all's well that ends well.
So Paul, when we talk about that, if you want to go, let's kind of
Yeah.
go back just a hair here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give the audience a backdrop. When Paul played with us, Paul was a 3-star recruit by Rivals, coming out of Loudoun Valley, and I enjoyed coaching Paul so much because he challenged me intellectually, and not necessarily sometimes on the basketball court. And I'm like, okay, Paul, I get it. I get it. But there's a common thread that a lot of our players, and we talked about this before, and guys showing up to practice on time and doing the work in school. Like we talk about being a collegiate athlete,
Mm-hmm.
but getting to that particular point. And Paul, can you just give us a little brief
Yeah.
background from that particular standpoint? Because you also had a 4.5 grade point average, if I'm not mistaken, with
Yeah.
honors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, it was high. It was pretty high.
Pretty high.
I mean, I guess so. My mom, the teacher, my mom loved basketball. She always cheered me on, but it was very clear, like, I let you play basketball because you take care of business
Yeah.
academically. She had no misgivings about what my number one priority was. Me and my dad, we thought maybe basketball might be number one, but my mom knew, and she insisted that I know that as well.
Right.
But so school was my job, but basketball was my love. I was obsessed. And I think obsessed is the right word. Through high school, I used to skip lunch. I'd eat in the gym with one hand, and I work on dribbling with my left and throwing behind the back passes against the wall. Like I got to school early. I made 1,000 3-pointers every morning. On Fridays, I'd treat myself to playing pickup instead of shooting 1,000 3-pointers as a little reward for getting through the week. But I loved it. It was all I thought about. It was all that was on my mind. It was who I was. It was all my friends. And I mean, for me, I had to be obsessed if I wanted to play at the next level. Because maybe you have had some guys come through that were kind of more athletically gifted or naturally gifted. I was no natural athlete. When I first started playing basketball, I was terrible. I was tall, and tall is good. You can't teach
Right.
tall, but I was bad, and like it was just. My wife likes to say I was an athlete through brute force. I didn't get handed these great genes, and I couldn't jump out the gym, but I just beat my head against the wall until I got better at it. And
More
that's what
often
it
than
took for me.
not, I would rather take that player than the national.
Yes.
Absolutely. You said something, Paul. Did you say how many threes?
I'd make 1,000 every morning. I was up in high school. I was up at 5. I was at the gym by 5:30, and I was on the gun.
What was your percentage, 3-point shooting percentage through your college
On
career?
Through my college career, I think I was a low 40s guy. But like if you put me on a gun, I'm shooting at the high school 3-point line. I'm shooting 92%. Right? Like everybody thinks they're a shooter, and then now the game has changed. Like when I came up, being tall and a shooter, like that was the whole
Yeah.
thing. It was like,
Right.
whoa, he's tall and he shoots threes. That's
Right.
crazy. Everybody shoots now. I feel like a shooter. There are still pure shooter types, but it's not enough anymore.
Right.
but for me, that was it. That was my ticket. I was tall. I could rebound. I could block some shots. I could shoot the heck out of the ball. And as Gaston said, I was a yes sir, no sir guy. I knew every play from all five positions. I wasn't here to argue. I was in the gym early. I was in the gym late. Um, yeah, that was my path.
Yeah, and you know, Paul, when you we talk about high school here,
Hmm.
you know, some of my fondest memories of you, were, you know, you're coming to practice, you're studying in the back of, you know, you're coming to practice in your father's vehicle,
Hmm.
and you walk in the gym with your academic books, but
Hmm.
you're ready to practice, and that's
Hmm.
one of
Hmm.
the key elements that we stress to our young guys and even our high school guys, that you know, being ready, being prepared
Hmm.
for not just basketball, but what basketball is going to provide to you. And
Yep.
you know, we had a Coach Manny, we had a damn good team. Now, let's don't
Absolutely.
make no. We had a damn
Absolutely.
good team, and you know, I go back a lot and look at our videos and look how good we were at that time. But
Hmm.
now, fast forward, I'm looking at the success of those guys, the Cameron Jacksons, the Sam
Yeah.
Burley, you know, college, high school, Paul's college teammate, who was also a Virginia Elite guy
Hmm.
as well. Uh,
Jameson
and, and,
Glover.
and was Jameson your wedding as well,
He
Paul?
was the best man at my wedding. His dad coached
Wow,
my fifth grade basketball team. We
Relationships.
played Virginia Elite. We played William and Mary. I just saw him last weekend. He came over and met my 1 month old daughter. Yeah.
wow. So that's what it's really, you know, when we talk about different things, it's those type of things that make that comprise and what makes Virginia Elite special.
Hmm.
So, but you know, looking at high school, you made a comment about you go in the gym early. You know, that was something that you wanted to do to be a good basketball player. Because one of the things you said is that, hey, I wasn't as athletic as the next
Hmm.
guy,
Hmm.
but I had to find what made me different.
Yeah, I think kids think everybody wants to be LeBron James, or maybe now they want to be Luca or somebody else. But you need to carve out a role and sell it to coaches, right? As a high school athlete, you are in sales. You're
Yeah,
selling your high school coach for more playtime. You're selling college coaches. You need to fit their mold, or you need to be something they want, and you gotta craft a story with that, right? Like not everything is for everybody. There's not
right.
a lot of true all around guys in college that play five positions and can do a little this and a little that. Most guys, at least at the beginning of their careers, they do one or two things exceptionally well. And for
Right.
me, that was I wanted to knock down open threes. In hindsight, maybe I protected my percentages too much. I wanted to shoot 50% of threes, and maybe I should have shot 12 threes a game and shot 35% from three. Maybe that would have done better. But I don't know. Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah, so now let's move on from Loudon Valley. Now you're
Hmm.
headed to William and Mary. And by the way, Paul was highly recruited by a lot of programs that we hear of now. And I recall one time we were in Philadelphia, and the coach from Harvard University,
Hmm.
we're in the back gym. It is hot as hell.
Yeah.
The floor is built up on condensation. And I walked over to him and I said, Coach, what the hell you doing here? He said, I came to see Paul. And I'm like, that meant something because he didn't have to be there, number one. Number
No.
two, the
Mm-mm.
gym had no AC.
Yeah.
No AC. So
And
we
Harvard was good then too. They were like a
yes,
top 25 program. I
yes,
think that might be my
exactly.
highest offer.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So now let's, you know, you're at William and Mary and you
Hmm.
go from Loudon Valley to William and Mary. What was the, I guess the story that's around you getting into
Hmm.
William Mary? Now you're there. Now you have to compete. Now you're really starting over again.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, I don't know, to some level, I was a big fish in a small pond, and you get to D1 college ball, and it's a big pond. You're in the ocean now,
Right.
right? And everybody was all state. Everybody was all this, all that. It took me a while to figure out. I had to reinvent my game a little bit. In high school, I was able to I was bigger than the guys who could hang with me, and I was quicker than the guys who were my size. So I kind of had a mismatch in every sense, and I felt comfortable exploiting that. In college, everybody's 3 inches taller and 40 pounds heavier. And all of a sudden, I'm getting into the lane. I'm trying to shoot floaters, and they're getting blocked for the first time in my life.
Mm.
So I mean, it took me literally, I didn't crack rotation for 2 years. I got hurt my freshman year, so I redshirted. And after that, I'm behind a first team all defense player, and I wasn't first team all defense. No matter what I did, I would never be first team all defense. I tried. I worked in the weight room. I tried to
Right.
expand my athletic abilities, but that was never going to be me. Um, so it was a slog. Like,
Mhm.
I feel like you have to love it because it gets ugly at the college level. It's a lot of just me in the gym. It's a lot of me just kind of, I don't know, abuse is the wrong word, but like it's like a bad girlfriend. Like, you just love it so much and you're like, why? Give me something. Give me something to work with. Why do I
Right.
give you everything?
Right.
Hey, to all my
But
middle schoolers and high schoolers, that's not the ideal relationship. We got to put that caveat.
no, right. Yeah, most girlfriends, they love you back, but
Right.
Yeah.
basketball won't always do that for you. It's
Right.
delayed
Let me ask you,
gratification.
Paul. Let me ask you because you said earlier, school was your job,
Mhm.
basketball was your love. So let me ask you about discipline without motivation. So
Yeah.
you get to college, you get hurt, then you have to reinvent your game,
Yeah.
and you just said you're spending a lot of time in the gym by yourself. All right.
Hmm.
You're also balancing schoolwork, which I'm
Hmm.
guessing wasn't easy, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so can you talk a little bit about how doing all the things, having these routines, these systems, how
Yeah.
discipline help you not only get through school, but at the same time, crack the rotation, get
Hmm.
minutes,
Hmm.
actually be a good D1
I
player.
think I think the biggest skill that I would try and instill at a young age is time management. I think every athlete thinks they work hard, or they talk about working hard, or they tweet about working hard, or no days off, this, that. But there is so much time in the day to be found. There is so much time in the day that is wasted. And I was just trying to make the most. I had to sleep 7, 8 hours a day, and that leaves a lot of time to get things done. I was always looking for efficiencies, right? Time you're sitting on the car, you're playing on your phone, you could be doing your homework, so then you don't have to do it later because you're going to be tired after practice, right? Like that, there's no point. Um, my parents used to say like nothing good happens after midnight, but nothing
I've
good
heard
really happens after like 9, 10 p.m.
That's true.
Go to bed early, wake up early. I kind of figured by 7 a.m., when other people were getting out of bed, I had already accomplished something, right?
Mhm.
And I already had my first workout. I already woke up and I was at the library. I knocked out that assignment. Um, so a lot of it was just trying to maximize how much work could I get done, because my coaches, I mean, they supported me academically, but it wasn't their dream that I get a 4.0, right? And my teachers, it wasn't their dream that I shoot the ball well,
Yeah.
right? Like, so I'm chasing two difficult things, and I don't know. I always felt like I wanted it more than other people wanted it. It was just drive.
did you have a mental, maybe the word trick is not the right one, but did you have a mental trigger or something that
Hmm.
helped you, do unglamorous work, like show up
Yeah.
when you didn't feel like it?
I was always I think people need to be explicit about their goals. I always tried to set real concrete goals, and write them on your mirror, or write them somewhere you see them every day. Put them on the background of your phone, right? Like, what it's not like a what would Jesus do situation, but it's like, if these are your goals, right? What are you doing to try and reach those? And like, you should be thinking about that all the time. And when I was in high school, it was, I want to get a Division I scholarship offer. And when it was college, it was, I want to get on the court some, right? Like, I just want to play. I just want my moment. I want some
Right.
shine. But it was also, when I was a freshman and sophomore, I still, in my head, despite being hurt and not cracking rotation at the CAA level, I'm still thinking I'm going pro someday. And it probably wasn't until, like, I don't know, my third or fourth season in college where I'm like, I get hurt a lot and I'm pretty good at school. Maybe I should stick with the school stuff. Maybe I should go get another degree. Like, maybe that's not for me.
Right. Now, Paul, you mentioned your undergraduate work.
Mhm.
So let's not make light of, you double majored
Yeah, yeah.
as an undergrad.
Yes, I did finance and computer science. I took 0 electives in undergrad. Every single course I took was to fulfill a requirement or get my majors done. And I picked those two majors because I looked at the salary information and I was like, these majors make the most money. I'm gonna pick both of them. I
Right.
didn't know if I was gonna want more money, but I was like, I'd like to have the ability to make a bunch of money.
Right. Right.
So that was, I don't know, and that was my dad's good parenting. I was kind of like, I don't know. It's school.
Right.
I'm really focused on basketball. And he's like,
Right.
look, you got to major in something. Like, pick one of these ones that gets expensive jobs. My dad used to say, everybody works, not everybody makes a lot of money. I
That's
was like,
true.
oh,
Very true.
I like
Very
that. That made sense to me.
Good. And let's give shout outs to Paul's parents, Sean and Elliot Rowley.
Mhm.
I mean the model parents. If there's any parents that I look upon as the model for young kids, parent, it's Sean and Ellen.
You gotta get it on the podcast.
Yeah, we got to get them on the
About that
podcast.
journey as parents. That's
Paul,
different.
we got to talk about that the
Yeah.
Jam Fest story that I came late with the uniform. So
I'll shout my parents out a little bit first. I had more success athletically than I should have had because I had great guidance and great vision from my parents, right? Like my dad never coached. His role was always, he's like, I'm gonna drive, I'm gonna write checks, I'm gonna
Yep.
I'm gonna make this happen, I'm gonna support you. But he introduced me to people like you. He introduced me to Coach Kitchen and Coach
Yep.
Light, who I trained with them kind of before my AAU days, and that set the foundation of my game. And also, that's where I got kind of the itch, right? Like it's at that middle school level, at that seventh grade level. That's when people are really falling in love or not falling in love, right? And I think for my parents gave me, I mean, they gave me so much, but they made it happen, right? And they kept my head on straight. You talked about, I had dozens of offers. Why did I have dozens of offers at the mid-major level? Every time a coach came in the gym and recruited me, one, me and my dad set up paulrowley.net.
yes, he
So I
did.
had my own website with my highlights, my
Yes, he
SATs, my
did.
honors. Like
Yeah.
it was so easy to recruit me. Any of you could be like, oh, paulrowley.net, and you could see film on me.
Right.
And two, I wrote handwritten thank you cards to every coach who came. And that was my mom. She's like, these people are offering you $250,000. You could write them a note and say thanks, And
At
like,
least.
yeah, it felt silly as a kid. I'm like, what? Like that's kind of
Right.
goofy. But as an adult, like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I talked to my coaches who recruited me at William and Mary, and they remembered me. They're like, yeah, you were the weird letter kid. And I was like, well, like it's kind of weird, but I guess that means he's a high character kid. He's not going to give us issues. He writes handwritten notes,
Wow, that's a key feature in the recruiting process. I'm involved with it a lot, and
Yeah.
we try to educate the parents on how to go through that particular process. Because everybody talks about the process, but
Mm-hmm.
it's so many variations of the
Yeah.
process. And by you doing what you've done, your accomplishments at Women Mary, not only you double majored, but you graduated pretty high honors
Yeah.
as an
Yeah.
undergraduate. Paul, can you speak
Mhm.
on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's a lot of the things we were talking earlier about time management and what's important to me. I was, and maybe this is maybe this hindered me athletically, but I was convinced I could do it all. And like maybe that's I got some ego on me. I'm a proud man. I'm a little bit of a cocky man. But I was like, other people can't do this, but I
Right.
can. I can get A's. I can work hard. I can break rotation. Yeah, I was the starter. I probably started half my games in my career. I was probably six man for a lot of them, playing 20 minutes a game. But I wanted to do it all, and I think that same mentality just carried me through law school too, right? Because I played 2 seasons through law school, my 1L and 2L year. And law school, I was truly at my breaking point. Law school is like it's like going from high school to college and then going from college to super college. Like it just got harder. I was truly out of time in the day. I remember looking at my calendar in law school thinking like, man, if everything goes right, like next Sunday, I could probably sleep like 6, 7 hours. I was like, I just got to make it to next Sunday, man.
Right.
I remember I used to drop my friends and teammates off at the bars on Friday night, 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. I'd drop them off. I'd go to the library 10 to 2, right? I'd knock out some assignments. I'd pick them up. I'm like, yeah, tell me what happened. How was the night? Sounded like it was crazy, right? Like,
Living through that.
I was trying to like live through them, live through
Yeah.
myself, take care of my business. I remember I stopped cooking anything but angel hair pasta because I could cook that in 3 minutes, and I was like that saves me 9 minutes a day right there.
Oh wow.
I don't have time to cook those thick pasta noodles. So it was like again I was just obsessed with maximizing how much I could do in the day, and then I was fortunate I accomplished a good bit.
Good, good. So time management was a key factor in your success throughout, and that started way back when.
Yeah.
Now you're in law school, and you're pushing yourself through that. Tell me, how did that, from a coaching standpoint, your basketball coaches, what was their outlook, or what did were communicating to you
Yeah.
as a student athlete?
Uh, they were very supportive. Um, No, that I was supported. The initial push to go to law school now, especially with like COVID, everybody has extra eligibility, and it's become a more common thing for NCAA athletes. When I
Right.
was doing it, I had heard of one basketball player going to law school, Braden Anderson. He
Mhm.
played for Seton Hall, and I reached out to him on Twitter, and I was like, "Hey, how'd you get them to let you do this, man? Like, what's the secret?" And he was like, "Just you have to convince two people you are 100% committed to each of them." So you need to go to the dean of the law school and be like, "Don't you worry about that silly little basketball thing. I am going to make you proud. Like
Right.
you will get positive press. I will be a story. I will be a feature article of your law school." He's like, and then you need to look your coach in the eye and be like, "This law school thing, meh. Like, don't worry. Like, I am a hooper. Don't like this is all I care about."
Right.
So there was some growing pains with getting the coaches on board. It definitely, I had a good season. I shot the ball well. I think I shot like 48% the year before I went to law school.
You say
And
48?
yeah, it was pretty high, but I shot like 3 or 4 threes a game. So I was so picky about what type of shot I'd shoot. I was only shooting horse shot open threes.
I
Um,
got you.
but yeah, had a good year. Broke rotation, was playing. We had a couple guys transfer, and I go to coach. I'm a coach. I want to go to law school. He's like, "Well, that's not a great idea." And I'm like, "Well, coach, then I guess I'm gonna have to transfer too." He's like, "Yeah, whoa, whoa, whoa! Like, let me go talk to them. Like, we'll figure that out."
Right.
So I had to sell people on it, but once I got in and I kind of set my feet, and they were very like, "Hey, you're going to do this. You owe it. You owe this to us in part." And I sold it
Right.
for the program, right? I'm talking to kids' parents about, "Oh yeah, the coaches, they love academics here. They were so helpful to me." Um, but again, I viewed it as everybody won, right? The law school got some
Right.
good press. It helped the team recruit and maybe get some recruits they wouldn't have otherwise gotten. And I was getting a lot out of it personally. So
Good.
Let
Good.
me let
Good.
me ask you, Paul. I mean, this is really good stuff. There's like 7 different threads I want to pull on, right?
yeah, please.
But let's we probably have you back. Hopefully, get your parents as well. So let's
Yeah.
save them for later.
Yeah.
But I want to pull on 2 of them,
Mhm.
and I want to make sure this comes out clear, right? Identity, which
Mhm.
is a big thing that as a coach, I've seen kids that are since the 3rd, 4th grade. It's almost like basketball is their life, right?
Mhm.
And right or wrong, I'm not a psychologist, right? But is it productive? Is it good? It's a question out there. I don't know if it's a debate. It's a great
Mhm.
question.
Mhm.
Parent, I mean, you just part of the process of basketball. It sounds like your dad taught you about relationship building,
Mhm. Mhm.
taught you about negotiations, right? And just these are skills that transfer beyond basketball that
Absolutely.
you had access to through basketball. So I'm gonna tell you, I don't. I mean, it's gonna be out there now. So I played at the Division II level, and
Mhm.
because of circumstances and decision making, I was cut my last year. So
Mhm.
the amount of regret I feel on a day-to-day basis of
Yeah.
not accomplishing my potential is something that I try to convey to young players. You need to go
Mhm.
out hard. You need to go all in because at the end of the day, the crazy guy is crazy until he makes sense, right? Everyone
Mhm.
thinks they're gonna be a pro.
Right.
Everyone thinks they're a high major, and you go with that mindset. And you need to have that mindset, in my
You have
opinion,
to.
to get to wherever your max potential is. But then this comes to that point for 99% of us. All right, this is it. This is my ceiling. I'm
Mhm.
not a pro. I'm not a high major kid. Can you talk a little bit about transitioning that identity from like I'm hunting the basketball dream,
Yeah.
and now I need to shift focus to something else?
It's hard. That pivot is so hard because the basketball identity was so good to me. Like I picked basketball up in 5th grade, and again, it gives me friends, it gives me community, it teaches me discipline, it teaches me how to make eye contact, how to be coached, how to how to have bad coaches, right? Bad coaches teach you things because you're gonna work a job someday and you're gonna have a boss, and your boss is gonna be an idiot, and you're gonna think, well, I had that coach in 7th grade that was an idiot. I know how to do this, right? I
Right.
can survive this. There's so many good skills to learn out of basketball, and it kept me out of trouble. I didn't want to get in trouble. I didn't want to get into this and that. And I know I had things to do. I didn't even want to go to prom. I wanted to skip prom to play basketball because I had a goal. I think so many of those things are so valuable. But then, Manny, that point you're talking about, that like, oh shoot, like it's ending soon. And
Mm.
and we all realize that at different points. And Gadsden was talking about some of the guys I played with that went pro, and that's great. Some guys really can make a living out of this game. But most of us don't make it to college, and those of us that do, most of us still don't go pro.
That's right.
So I I don't know if I have like a defining moment, but I definitely like, part of why I worked so hard and tried to keep so many doors open with the grades was because I knew it might come someday. I didn't think it was going to come that soon, but I knew it might come someday. And so all of a sudden I look around, and I've been hurt a lot of my career, and I'm having a nice career. I'm enjoying it, but I'm not an all conference guy. Like I'm not that guy, and I
Mm.
know that. Um, and I guess I find myself, all of a sudden I find myself in law school, right? I'm having these thoughts. I'm like on my way to being a lawyer, and I'm working a summer job that I think my William and Mary coaches were underpaid, but my summer job was making like what an assistant coach was paying. You know,
You must put
uh,
that on the caption. Should that be?
yeah. Again, they all deserve more money. That's not the point I'm trying to make.
Right.
But
Yeah.
so I guess I was just fortunate. I feel like I kept up the grades because I was told to, because my parents said it might be important someday, and I was like, yeah, I guess so. But when I sit there and think, I'm like, oh man, I'm not going pro, but I'm halfway to being a lawyer. And I don't know, I guess basketball dropped me off at that point, right? I made it 21, 22 years with basketball being everything. And where I kind of released from that dream, I'm like, oh, I guess I need to get a job. I guess I should think more about jobs. I guess I'm pretty close to getting a good job. Like,
Yeah.
so again, I think I didn't have that vision. I can't say I was like 15 and I knew that's
Yeah.
how it was going to all play out, but I just tried to keep doors open.
Right.
And I didn't feel like I was sacrificing my basketball career to like stay in a few nights and hit the books, right?
Yeah.
Like, I maybe not on this podcast. I still had a very nice social career in college too. I had my fun.
Mm.
But I had time for it all, right? And I guess that's my point earlier about time management. Like, you can do so much more than you realize.
Mm.
You can do so much more.
So
Good.
and I'll say this. So, Paul, you're a member of the prestigious Phi Beta Kappa
Hmm.
fraternity,
Hmm.
and that is the elite of the elite from an academic standpoint. And actually, Phi Beta Kappa was founded at Women Mary, if I'm not
I think so.
mistaken.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So tell me, being in that fraternity,
Hmm.
we're members of fraternities, but that particular fraternity, what impact has had on your career,
Hmm.
personally, but that accomplishment, what has that brought to you?
I think more than anything, it was just a recognition that like things were going well. I feel like I was kind of admitted to a club for people who were taking care of business, right?
Right.
And I guess I don't know. It's not a fraternity in the sense that like you have your fraternity brothers. Like, it may be a smaller feature of my college career than that. But it was just nice to get some positive feedback along the way, because I think, as Manny we were talking about, like, you have to be crazy a little bit, and
Right.
I kind of know I'm crazy, and every once in a while you're like, man, is this a bad idea? Like, one of my first "is this a bad idea" moments. I remember it was my first year of law school. And I missed my exam because we were playing at Ohio State. We lose by 50, right? We get stomped on at
Right.
Ohio State. Everybody, we're giving up so much size. We don't hit threes, whatever. And I'm like, I got a torts textbook open. I'm sitting on an airport waiting in baggage claim. It's 2 a.m. I got my first law school exam tomorrow. I'm going to take it in a room by myself because everybody else already took it. And I'm thinking, like, in law school, it's 100% final exam. So it's not like I had good grades throughout the semester. It's like, this is the first, like, this whole class comes down to this one test on this one day after
Mm.
we got 50 bombed by Ohio State, man. And I'm like, man, maybe this was too much. maybe everybody was right. Like maybe I'm crazy and I'm just like I'm falling apart and I'm gonna have nothing good to show for it. So anyway, all that to say, I think getting some recognition, right? Being recognized in PBK, I had some press about me in like the Washington Post or something. It reaffirms like, no, you're doing it. Like you are succeeding. Stay the course. Keep your head down, and you'll be glad you did.
All right. Well, I really want to thank you, Paul, for taking time out, and I know Coach Manny will come back and hey, we got to bring Paul back. I got this.
I'm ready. Yeah, we got to bring Paul back.
Yeah, and feel free. I'm always happy to talk to your players.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
I love supporting the program.
Well,
They did so much for me.
yeah, well, I really appreciate you, your parents, for being a part of Virginia League and remaining a part of Virginia League. One thing that I talk to a lot of people, and Coach Manning can attest to this, is I speak so highly of not just you, but your parents, that process, because I saw it, and you said something earlier, and it didn't dawn on me until just now. I'm like, oh, you know what? There was a difference with Sean and Ellen, and at the time, and Coach Man, I don't think Paul was ever at practice, and I didn't see them.
No.
I don't think there was ever a time, and but Paul took care of business, and that's what we tell our guys now. The guys that are currently in college that we see, and I hope that as an alumnus of Virginia League, you guys take pride in, because you laid the groundwork for those guys to be successful. And I say that all the time, and a lot of people don't really understand that. If it wasn't for the Paul Rowley, the Cameron Jackson, the Cameron Smith, the AJ Cars, the Sam Berlin, the Will Gregory,
Right.
those platforms don't exist without them, because it was your group, then it was the Grant Golden's group. And I always get the question, Paul. Now I'm gonna ask you a question.
Sure.
The question is, which team was the better team? Now,
I mean, there's no team taking our. No way. Again, like the guys we had coming off the bench went D1, coach.
Exactly.
We had bench players going D1, and we weren't. This was before all the shoe deals, sponsorship nonsense. We were just a band of guys that could really hoop.
Yes. And I get the question. And Coach Brandon Jones, who was a part of that, my coaching staff at the time, we always have this conversation. And then, I'll ask maybe Colin Parker, who's a women married grad as well. I'm like, okay, how could you guys match up against Paul? We have these conversations, but it's a joy that I see the guys now being successful. And we had Miles Franklin on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The guys you have now, him and Jordan Scott. Oh my goodness. Like, I'm not gonna say individually I'm better than these new guys. I think the game is already better. I remember going up to refs before high school games being like, hey, I'm going to do a Euro step, and it's not a travel. Like, you probably haven't seen one before, but I'm going to go this way and then this way, and it's just 2 steps.
Paul, I had to explain to a referee yesterday that you can lift your pivot to shoot or pass. You just have to get rid of the ball before the pivot comes back down.
Right.
Yeah. And he was like, just confused, and I was like, I'm not going to argue, which is hopefully you give me some tips on that. But just please, respectfully, look it up, because you calling
girls basketball has been doing it for years, and the boys just started doing it like a few years ago.
So the as we start to close out now, you have a son Teddy, and I know we got to get Teddy's.
Can you hear him crying in the background?
I heard him.
He rolled back over. He's asleep now.
So your family is a wonderful, beautiful family that I've been really close with, and seeing the development of you as a young man going through college, and the biggest thing is, what we talk about for Virginia League is the in-state, getting to the in-state and not looking at just to say, hey, basketball is going to be it. Something may come up that might derail that, or kind of take you down another path. And I've always been so proud of your academic accomplishments, because I know it's tough. I mean, we all went to college, and I'm like, man, it's nowhere in hell I'm gonna go double major, and nah, that's not gonna happen.
Hmm.
You know, and I was pretty smart, you know, but I'm
Hmm.
like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and every time I look on and I read your accomplishments over and over again, we just want to say thank you for being a part of this program
Yeah.
and what you mean to Northern Virginia basketball. And that's the other piece to the puzzle that Coach Mann and I talk about. You know, you really can't say Northern Virginia basketball without saying Paul Rowley.
I don't know about all that. You're
Yeah.
nice.
I've done.
You're nice.
Hey, Paul, I've done my homework.
I,
I've done my homework, man.
I've had a unique career, right? I think there are
Very.
definitely guys from this area with way higher ceilings than I've had, right? Jordan Miller, who went to Loudoun Valley High School, is playing for the
Yes.
Clippers right now, right?
Yes.
I was his first hater when he was an eighth grader. I was like, he's too small and he can't shoot threes, and then he grew 7 inches and learned how to shoot threes, and now he's playing in the NBA.
Exactly.
But yeah, I got such amazing things out of basketball. I got lifelong friendships. The skills I learned playing high school basketball helped me now as a father, as a husband, as an employee. Like just my capacity for work, for doing hard things, for doing hard, not gratifying things is so much higher than it was. And I think no matter what you do in life, that's valuable. Just the ability to get work done.
Exactly. Coach Manny, you want to close out?
No, this was great, Paul. Appreciate you. Hopefully, one of these days you can stop by one of our practices. Maybe we
Definitely.
can have a call with our parents and then let them ask you questions because
Yeah.
there's a lot of it's crazy out there right now. The landscape, I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
there's a lot of, I don't know if misinformation is too strong a word,
Mhm.
but there are a lot of people out there that are just saying things with
Mhm.
authority that they don't really have, they shouldn't be. And so parents are making decisions based on all the stuff that's out there. So anytime, Virginia Elite can offer them an opportunity to talk to someone who went through it,
Yeah.
I think that's great value. So thank you for making yourself available. And I mean, this
Yeah.
is fun, man. Like, I mean it. Like anytime we can make this work. Because again, all the stuff you said, I would like to unpack it even more, right? And that's another episode of The Line. If you got value from this, like it, share it, and hit subscribe. We're building a real community here. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Stay locked in. Stay within the line. Until next time.